Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
13 years ago, the last time I was here donning the Notre Dame Fighting Irish basketball jersey. Doesn't seem like much has changed. Still really cold here in South Bend, but actually a lot has changed. Coach Bray, he got rid of those mock turtlenecks. Coach Bray is also Notre Dame's all-time winningest basketball coach now, surpassing the legendary Digger Phelps. But they've got a big one tonight. Look, I get it, football fans. Notre Dame's 12-0. They're playing for the college football playoff, but they're taking a break right now. It's all about basketball, and the Fighting Illini are in town for the first time in 63 years. Everybody's excited, including Three-Point Jesus.
Big Ten ACC Challenge presented by Continental. Illinois 2-4, off to a rough start at the Maui Invitational, picking up a win on Sunday to get their second against Notre Dame, playing host today 5-1, which faces its toughest test yet. Welcome inside Purcell Pavilion at the Joyce Center. Game number 3 tonight of the challenge. Yesterday, 68 was the winning score for both Nebraska, taking down Clemson, and Boston College with a win against Minnesota. Mike Cousins, Jordan Cornette, the all-time leading shot blocker here in Notre Dame history. We're glad to have you with us, and off we go. Notre Dame in the home white and Illinois in the road orange. A couple of young squads who have had intensive schedules in the early going. 5th game in 9 days for Illinois, which snapped a slide with a win over Mississippi Valley State on Sunday, a comfortable margin. The Irish last played Saturday with a win against DePaul. Starting lineups tonight are brought to you by Geico.
Irish,
good straight start for this group right here.
Good start defensively from them, looking to settle in on that man defense. Illinois is going to have a 3-point shot. Can the Irish defend the perimeter?
Ayo Dosunmu, the freshman from Chicago, averaging 15 points a game, second leading scorer for Brad Underwood's squad. Officials tonight, Brian Dorsey, Jeff Anderson, and John Gaffney. So Pfluger gets it in, and this is Prentice Hubb, the freshman from Maryland, part of the vaunted incoming class of 2018. For Mike Bray and Notre Dame. DJ Harvey pulls, and a foul on the rebound as Mooney was inside, battling with Bashanishvili. Your number 2 for Brad Underwood succeeded John Gross back in March of 2017, formerly assisted under Frank Martin toward his ascension to being a head coach. 2 quick fouls called against the Fighting Illini.
Yeah, Mike, brace yourself. This is going to be probably out of the gates. A lot of violations, very foul-prone Illinois team. Mike Bray better buckle in. He likes to play a game with rhythm as he's only returning 2 starters. Very different look Notre Dame team than what Coach Bray's accustomed to. A team that he likes to get old and stay old. He's had to use a lot of freshmen, so settling in has been key for his Irish as the season begins.
Hubb, one of the main ball handlers on this squad, at the line after the foul on Frazier. Came in number 98 in last year's ESPN 100 after missing his senior year with a knee injury at Gonzaga High School. And he gets pulled, so 2-0 Notre Dame, less than a minute gone by.
Early on, you see the Irish, their awareness of the perimeter, communicating, switching stuff, making it difficult, taking away gap lanes from Illinois early.
And it can be a difficult offense to defend as Hubb gets a hand in on it. Mooney sends it back to the freshman who runs the break down the lane with the left, gets it to go. He's got all 4.
Very impressed with the lucky lefty early on. Hubb gaining confidence, game beginning to slow down for him. Unlike the other freshmen, has a confidence about him of an upperclassman.
After a couple of turnovers on their last possessions, the miss by Dosunmu, and Bashanishvili gets bumped on the way up.
A little bit of Rosetta Stone right here, Mike Cousins. Take that defense, translate it into some early offense on the other end, out in space. That left hand, like all good finishers, Hubb keeps his eye on the goal despite the contact.
Bishanishvili, the southpaw, has been somewhat enigmatic ever since he dropped in 17 points in their Maui loss against Gonzaga. And since then, in the 3 games that have followed, he's only scored 8 points and shot 4 of 12 from the floor. They're very high on him. He's got both free throws.
And if you look at an advantage in this game, at least in the half court, both teams fall in love with the three-point line at times. But Bishanishvili, with his physicality, he can test Mooney on the low block. That should be something Illinois explores, get back to establishing their big.
Pfluger on the drive, looking for Mooney. It looked like that caught a piece of the rim as it was going for the big man.
I like the idea. The rim simply got away right there.
Very new look Illinois team this year with 8 new players, 6 of them freshmen and only 4 returning scholarship players. So a lot of what Brad Underwood has been trying to get his team to do so far is just understand exactly what he's asking of them. And we're playing 5 games in 9 days, not a lot of practice time, a lot of getting ready to go against whoever the next opponent is. Aaron Jordan gets fouled on the drive, the senior from Illinois going to the free throw line. The foul against John Mooney, that's his 2nd against the junior for Notre Dame.
Look, Illinois is really challenging this Irish defense out of the gate, working that shot clock, testing the discipline of the Irish to simply guard. Will they do it for a full shot clock?
So Mooney's got to sit, and Nate Leszewski, the freshman from Florida, is into the game. That's troublesome here for Notre Dame, getting Mooney to the bench, who's averaging 12 and 9. Their 2nd leading scorer, only behind TJ Gibbs.
And he has been phenomenal out of the gates. Waited his turn, has evolved as a junior with his scoring and rebounding productivity. Immensely confident.
That entire possession was TJ Gibbs.
Hey, look, on that possession, TJ Gibbs will give up his grandmother before he give up the dribble. Too much dribbling, but got it to go.
Quick 3, missed everything from Frazier. Now Harvey starts the offense and finds Gibbs from the corner. 3-pointer no good for Leszewski. That's his game, 23rd 3 he's hoisted here in just the 7th game of the year.
Irish showing a few defensive looks. They've shown man. They're now settling into a 2-3 zone. 2-3 zone trying to confuse Illinois, and they did. Because when you come down, if you're Illinois, you're trying to identify, okay, where's our attacking lane? Oh, wait, they're in zone. That can be confusing and debilitating at times, like you saw in that possession.
Tough call there for Harvey. Got a nice hand on the ball. Jump ball arrow does favor the Irish. So they get possession with a 2-point lead.
Tough game offensively to establish that rhythm. Whistles being blown, can't really get into a back and forth. So teams try to figure out what type of game it's going to be and how it's going to be called.
The Illini get the stop. They run down numbers. Dosumu loses it at the basket, gives it up for Pfluger. From the corner, Harvey with the pull-up. Got it. Three-point try from Jordan is pure. Last year was 3rd in the Big Ten, shot 46% from three-point range. The exact number he comes into play today with as well.
Awkward, unconventional, the release and delivery. But 46%, like you said, Mike, a sharp shooter. Got to have an awareness of him, especially off those makes. Illinois is trying to get it out and go.
The Irish playing with nobody in the paint. Problem was, that's where Hub passed it. Running the floor, off the window, Andres Feliz, the junior from the Dominican Republic, gives Illinois the 1-point advantage.
A few consecutive sequences where Illinois flexing their muscle and what they like to do. Get out in the open floor, pursue some of that early offense. They're turning the opponent over almost 19 times per game. Notre Dame's been so good with the basketball. Can Illinois win the turnover battle?
That was one of the things lingering on the mind of Mike Bray this afternoon at the team shoot-around, was making sure that his players got to the spots they needed to be on the floor, cut with intensity. There's a shot clock violation because of how tough the Illini play defense. turn them the 1-point lead at her first time out here at Notre Dame.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Continental Tire. For what you do.
You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Mike Cousins, former Irish great, Jordan Cornette, glad to have you with us. So far, it's been a little sloppy. 8 turnovers, just 5 made baskets, in part due because how young these teams are. The great Ken Pomeroy, KenPom.com. Illinois, 11 out of 14, youngest team in the Big Ten. Notre Dame, 11 out of 15 teams. So you're looking at just over a year of experience on average on these rosters.
Yeah, so what you see as a result of that, Mike, you see guys playing fast. The game hasn't slowed down for them. Hits the 4 turnovers for each opponent, for each team on the floor, and we're only 5 minutes into this game. You see foul-prone teams out here. They're learning as they go. November is always a slow month for teams that are young.
And it certainly changed things for Mike Gray, now in year number 19 at the helm here at Notre Dame. He says when he goes home, whether it's after practice, after a game, whatever it might be, he's just doing a little bit more thinking about the team. Or what about this matchup? Or what if we put these guys together? Shot clock violation against Illinois, as Griffin couldn't get the shot off in time. So he's just doing more thinking, because usually, as you said earlier, and he told us as well, it's get old, stay old, and the ship kind of runs itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was a part of some of those get old, stay old teams where the machine literally did run itself. Practice coach could say, all right, we've got our template. You know what we need to do? Go out there and execute. In timeouts, the guys will police themselves. He doesn't have that luxury this year. They have to figure it out.
0 for 2 from 3 for Leschewski. Gibbs gets a second try, and he vaults the Irish back in front by a pair.
TJ Gibbs has to be the guy for the Irish. He has to consistently be the guy. Early on in the season, as I've watched him closely, he's played with the weight of the world on his shoulders. He's a motivated young man that wants to make every play perfect. He's overthinking it, and when he lets the game come to himself, he has the potential to be the best player on any floor that he steps on.
He's going to have to be a leader this year. Him and Rex Pfluger, the only 2 returning starters, ties for the fewest in Mike Bray's tenure going back to 2001. But he was smart in scheduling the way he started off this year with their first 7 games being at home. Gibbs ahead of the pack, gets up and puts it off glass.
Illinois giving themselves no opportunity early on. Their 5th turnover. Notre Dame opportunistic, going the other way with it.
On the lob, foul is called. Monte Williams, the sophomore from Peoria, Illinois, skying to try and get it.
That's actually the 6th turnover from Illinois. You know, good hustle on the other end, trying to challenge it, Alan Griffin, but too little, too late. That's an easy 2. Conversely, on the other side there, Dane Goodwin never saw the ball defensively, allowing for the alley-oop attempt. And Williams, a physical guy at only 6'3", but a tough matchup on the perimeter, has an opportunity for 2.
So 13 of Notre Dame's points have come off of those 10 Illinois turnovers, and the freshman Alan Griffin out of Ossining, New York, Stepinac High School, not far away in White Plains, New York, all suburban New York City area, has a chat with his head coach Brad Underwood.
Yeah, look, Illinois, they're supposed to be the team that forces the turnovers and converts on the other end. The Irish have been opportunistic here in the first 6 minutes, taking those turnovers and translating them into points on the other end.
Three freshmen on the floor right now for Notre Dame. Off the miss, Williams has it, zips it ahead. Nichols out of his range. Williams drives baseline and leaves for Bishanishvili, who had the size advantage inside.
Bishanishvili has the opportunity to have a big-time game here for the Illini. Notre Dame early on has done the job, taking away the three-point line for the Fighting Illini, making them drivers. If that's going to be the case, the big fella must be dominant on the low block.
Pfluger goes 3, comes up empty with back iron, jump ball, and it's Illinois' basketball. Good job by Carmody, the freshman, getting in to mix it up. But Notre Dame lost from last year some of the better players in recent memory in Irish history. Bonzie Colson there on the right, Matt Farrell on the left. 12 seasons total of experience returning, the fewest under Mike Gray, and TJ Gibbs last year played the 3rd most minutes in school history because of some of those injuries to guys like Colson. Shot's good for Dosunmu.
Getting an update there. Good side with the 3-point shot. However, star Trent Frazier, people wondering where he's at, dealing with an ankle on the sidelines. His return unknown, although it looks like he's lacing back up to get back in there. They're going to need his offense.
Their leading scorer, 18 points a game for the sophomore out of Wellington, Florida. Another baseline turnover, Notre Dame. Felice goes behind the back, the left-handed lay-in. Nichols on the run. Timeout. Notre Dame on a 9-0 Illinois run as they've got their largest lead of the night. Forcing turnovers, converting baskets. Illinois on the run. You get the chance to see potentially 4 first-round picks tonight as Duke and Indiana square off 9:30 Eastern on ESPN at Cameron Indoor. Duke losing to Gonzaga and Maui. They haven't dropped back-to-back non-conference games since '99, so at least history is on their side. Question is, how will RJ Barrett fare in this game? The freshman came in number 1 in the ESPN 100. Who would you guess, Jordan, at this point has taken more shots in their freshman year? Was it Trae Young or RJ Barrett?
I'd say RJ Barrett. Having watched that Gonzaga game, those last few possessions,
you're right,
it became distinct. Barrett likes to shoot that thing.
It's almost hard to believe. He's taking about 20 shots a game. Trae Young, his freshman season, took 19 shots a game. And it seemed like he was shooting the ball every time down the floor for the Sooners.
And you know who Trae Young wasn't playing with? Zion Williamson, Cam Reddish. You know, 2 other top 3-4 picks in the NBA draft. Makes it more excusable.
And on the other side for Indiana, you've got Romeo Langford, who stayed at home in the state of Indiana to become a Hoosier, number 5 in last year's ESPN 100. So you got 1, 2, 3 at Duke, and then number 4 was Bol Bol at Oregon. They took an interesting loss.
You know what they call it, November basketball, is you get a look at Trent Frazier right there. Looks eager as he moves closer towards coach on the bench, which maybe means he should be returning to this one, but that's only speculation at this point. I don't know, you lace back up the shorts, you got to expect you're about to get some PT.
To look like he's ready to come back in.
They're going to need him.
And now we've got a whistle. As underneath the basket, Robbie Carmody comes up holding his left shoulder.
And this is actually the look at Frazier coming up lane, trying to close out on Goodwin. That's what got him back on the bench as he now returns to check in. Now you worry about Carmody, who leaves with the shoulder. One perimeter star in, the other perimeter star out. You know, right now, this game, as you look at it, it's playing to what Illinois wants to do. Yes, Notre Dame has taken away the 3-point line from the Illini, but the Illini have managed to turn over a Notre Dame team that values the basketball, and they've been able to get out and go. Illinois since limited their turnovers in the last few sequences, allowing them to pursue good looks from the field.
They've taken it down deep in the shot clock. Foul, and the basket goes. How about that as Hub picks up the foul, giving the bump to Frazier.
Has the feel of a grinded out game, not typical of what Coach Underwood likes to do. He likes to fill it up, play fast, a lot of chaos. In the half court, it's almost like this Illini team is lulling the Irish defense to sleep.
They want to see Frazier on the floor as long as possible. He's already missed 1 game this year against Georgetown with an injury. Back out now after the ankle injury onto the court and trying to get all 3 after the foul. And it's a lane violation that goes against Adonis De La Rosa, the big man for Illinois.
Mike, how do you do that?
Just stand there.
How do you mess up your guy at the free throw line, uncontested, shooting a free throw? How do you take points away there? It's a mental error.
De La Rosa, a 7-footer, grad transfer from Kent State, who averaged 12 and 8 for the Golden Flashes. Notre Dame has Mooney back into the game, notable because he's playing with 2 fouls and still haven't even reached the midway point of the first half.
Sublime look there from Pfluger to find his backcourt mate, Goodwin, who carved some space out, got a nice little look.
First points in the last 3 minutes for the Irish. Going inside, De La Rosa against Mooney, trying to stand up against him with those 2 fouls, and he forces the long shot.
Oxygen. De La Rosa's got some size, got some muscle. Go into him. Don't faint.
Pfluger lowers the shoulder, goes right to the rim, taking Nichols to the basket.
Cerebral action from the Irish. Good look here as you got the ball exchange. Mooney sets the screen. Defense gets shifty, loses sight of Goodwin. Connects for the one-hitter down low, easy layup. A little bit of chippiness after the play. All smiles from Pfluger. Not the same coming from what it looked to be Kipper Nichols there. So the official's going to have to look, go back to the monitor, make sure there's no funny business. We'll wait and see what happens here. But you see maybe some frustration. Look, no team exactly running the other out of the gym, but I think this pace is somewhat of an annoyance for both teams. You know, there's been those turnovers. It's been slow paced, very deliberate in the half-court setting. Both teams want to get out and run. Neither team has the advantage there, and not to the play. That's unnecessary. Just play the game, guys.
Jeff Anderson in the middle, John Gaffney on the right, Brian Dorsey on the left, talking it over after taking a look there to see if they'll give a flagrant foul on that play.
I think there might just be a warning. Try and clean this thing up, continue it moving.
Did go as a common foul against Nichols on the drive by Pfluger, who's still waiting to shoot those free throws.
Looks to be relatively...
I'm just surprised that it's taking this long to adjudicate this.
Well, this has been, you know, early on in the season, there's been instances where you've seen guys get that flagrant 2 for the funny business and show the door. I don't think that's going to happen here, but they are treating this with more kid gloves than they have in years past.
Thanks to Jeff Anderson for filling us in there. A dead ball technical foul for the contact from Kipper Nichols. So the 2 free throws for the technical foul, and then the 2 free throws for the personal foul as well for Pfluger. And the ball to midcourt.
That's a logical call there. You can't let the game get out of hand because it was a dead ball. They go with the dead ball contact foul. Trying to clean it up, making a statement early that they're not going to have any of that ongoing. Both teams now know, so you got to play straight.
And it shrinks the Illini lead to 2. They went on a 9-0 run earlier in the half, forced Notre Dame to take a timeout as they took the lead. Pfluger works to create space as the shot clock dwindles to 10 for Notre Dame. Off Mooney's hands, serendipitously to Gibbs. His 15-footer doesn't count because it's an offensive foul. And that goes against Harvey, his second on the illegal screen.
And that is a point of emphasis from the officials, making sure that it's within the letter of the law on the screen. Harvey was in good position, but then he leaned in to the defense on Trent Frazier there, creating the opening. If he would just let the defender come to him, there's no call. But once you lean in, that's where the violation gets whistled.
Isn't it so different from 5 years ago? You know, you graduated here in 05. How different post play is, how different screening is from back then?
It's a wild, wild west. It's lawlessness back then 5 years ago. Totally different game now.
Jordan with the baseline feed. Dosumu missed it, got his own rebound, and a fresh 30 seconds. Long set of defense for Notre Dame. Jordan Doesn't get it. Mooney soars for the rebound. Transition three. Doesn't drop for Notre Dame. Goodwin got a good look from the wing. Last 4 shots haven't dropped for Illinois. 5 to shoot. Frazier, a high arcer.
It's a good look.
Gibbs wide open 3. Just not going down for Notre Dame from beyond the arc. They're 1 for 7 from 3, and they've got plenty of good looks, whether it's been Leschewski, Goodwin, or their Gibbs.
And a microcosm of what the beginning of this season has been for TJ Gibbs. Highly lauded as the go-to guy for this team. I talked about him playing with the weight of the world on his shoulders. A pristine look, can't get it to connect. He shoots 21% from distance. Fantastic extra pass for Mooney. He couldn't convert.
Frazier competing with Leschewski for the ball, and Frazier has his second, so it's Frazier and Nichols, each with 2 Illinois fouls. Mooney and Harvey on the other side each have 2.
And Mike, that's been one of the things that's plagued the Irish early in this season. Their shooting woes. And that's something you don't hear when you talk about Notre Dame. Offensively, it's a well-oiled machine. They're going to take care of the basketball, they're going to put up a lot of points, and they're going to make their shots from 3. Well, they're getting the looks from the 3-point line, and the guys that are supposed to knock him down simply have not been able to do so.
Nikola Jogo checks in here for Notre Dame, who's just in his 4th game. This is now number 7. Leschewski, the freshman from Florida, number 54 player in the incoming freshman class, with the bucket to tie the game at 20. So Mike Bray had Mooney in the game for about 3 minutes with 2 fouls. He played smart enough not to work his way into another one, and now they've got to rely on Jogo. Not as much of a scorer as Mooney, here to help out on defense for the final 8 minutes of the half. It's a lot of steps there across the lane for Felice.
Really good defense. Felice, a guy who's capable of scoring, confidence building, a JUCO guy able to get off a tough one. Too much standing around, too much dribbling, not challenging this defense. Very easy to guard when you're not moving that basketball. No movement, no cutters, stagnant offense.
They lost Leschewski underneath. He takes the hit from Williams, his first foul. I'll tell you more about the 54th ranked freshman in the class when we come back to South Bend.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join ESPN and the V Foundation in the fight against cancer. Visit v.org/donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research.
There's a look at an absolute legend right there. Notre Dame basketball is that man, Digger Phelps, right there. You saw a #1 team come into town. They didn't want to face that guy. 2-time cancer survivor, absolute fighter, and what he's meant to me in my life over the past decade or so. I can't say enough great things about that man, and milestones and the tragedies that I've had in my life. Losing a brother, one of the first people to call me, helped me through that. When I met my lovely fiance, first person to call me and say congratulations. Has coached me up on my broadcast, and he goes in on you. He lets you know if you're making mistakes or if you're doing the right thing. Love that man, and what Coach Bray's been able to do here has been off the back of Digger Phelps, an absolute legend and icon here at Notre Dame.
Well, it's been really nice that he prepared you for working with high-level broadcast partners. However, he did not prepare you for low-level ones, so tonight is really the true challenge of your career.
There is no this is it. I made it after this, but there is no bigger personality and no bigger heart than that of Digger Phelps, and he loves his Notre Dame basketball. He doesn't miss a game.
Leschewski, the foul. The freshman out of Florida. His dad, Jay, played at Wisconsin from '82 to '86, and his sister, Abby, is in Madison right now, as well as a junior on the Wisconsin women's basketball team.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't mention everybody knows Digger's better half, and the best thing about him is his wife, Linda.
I think that says a lot about a guy who was coached before you got here, yet has been such a big part of your life. And we can't ignore the fact that today is a big day for you coming back to do a game here as well.
Oh, this is fun, man. You're watching two teams starting to execute at a high level, an even contest. Who's going to take care of the basketball? Who's going to value it more and take better shots? That's really what it's going to come down to, at least for this first half.
Goodwin picks up the block after he was back on his heels. Gibbs tries to get Notre Dame going from 3, and he drops that one in. They're 2 for 8 now, and he's got both of them from deep.
As much as the three-point line propelled them to that win versus DePaul, they're going to need it. They're going to need big shots from Gibbs. They're going to need it from their senior leader in Pfluger.
After the Irish endured a 9-0 Illini run, they've now rattled off 12 of the last 14. A couple of close-range looks for De La Rosa, and he hasn't hit either one.
De La Rosa couldn't convert there, but they have the advantage on that front line. Got to continue to pound it. There's some early offense from Gibbs. He's got to score the basketball. Hasn't been as confident with his long-distance shot, but Leshewski gives him a little bit of an opening, creating an obstacle there for the defense. A rhythm bounce, get those shoulders squared, dial it up for 3. I'd like to see more pressure from Illinois defensively here. It's too comfortable for the Irish to operate. They were turnover prone in the beginning of this game. Illinois, pursue some doubles like that, make them make decisions.
Through 2 defenders. Leshewski the miss. Gibbs wanted his 3rd triple.
Just doesn't look as confident of a shooter right now. And that's uncharacteristic for the first few seasons, what we've seen from Gibbs.
Jordan with the long 3-point try. Evens the score, 25 apiece.
On the other side, there's no more confident shooter probably in college basketball, as Aaron Jordan is shooting 46% from 3, has a pair to go already tonight.
The ACC Big Ten Challenge continues tomorrow with a pair of great games. Number 4 Virginia, which went 3-0 through the battle for Atlantis, takes on Maryland in College Park, 7:30 Eastern. And then it's number 7 North Carolina against number 9 Michigan. This is the ultimate test of offense and defense. Carolina scoring 97 a game, Michigan allowing 48 a game. Both games on ESPN tomorrow night, 7:30, 9:30 Eastern, also on the ESPN app.
You won't find 2 better coaches in college basketball, what they do with their programs.
It's a big day for North Carolina coaching-wise as well today, announcing the hire of our now former colleague, Coach Mack Brown.
Talk about getting a name. Revitalizing the fan base, rejuvenating that fan base.
So you had 2 games last night. Nebraska took down Clemson in South Carolina. BC a win over Minnesota. The ACC has looked sharp the last couple years, including going 11-3 last year after going 0-for victory-wise the last 7 years in terms of total wins versus losses. You got Michigan State visiting Louisville tonight. Indiana Duke later on, and an interesting game with NC State and Wisconsin. Always fun to watch Ethan Happ, who can score from just about anywhere for the Badgers. Nice interior passing. Mooney misses, follows, tips it back in. 2 players for Notre Dame with 2 fouls on the floor right now. Mooney doesn't give chase, and Bishanishvili makes just his 3rd 3-pointer of the year. So his scouting report defense was good. Bishanishvili, though, makes him pay.
I mean, he's not afraid to take him 2 of 11 on the year. Look, the percentages aren't in his favor. If that's how the Irish are going to lose, they're perfectly okay with it, but you can't leave him that open. There you see double in the post. Mooney, a gifted passer. A quick decision allows for a clean look.
Hub missed the 3. Mooney got bumped in the lane. It's out of bounds. Last touched by the Irish junior.
I talk about Notre Dame being good with the basketball. Here you go. You suck in Hub. It's 3 defenders. Kick to Goodwin. Waste no time. Gives it back to Mooney. You wish Mooney didn't bring it down, but corrects his mistake by getting the tip in to go. Unselfish play. Makes that defense move. The more dribbling and dribbling and dribbling, the less dynamic your offense is. When you move it, that defense at a disadvantage. You cut them up and get cleaner looks.
Now they're just trying to convert sharing the ball into baskets. 4 assists, 8 turnovers for Notre Dame as they trail by 1 with fewer than 4 minutes to go in the opening half. Illinois 2-4. They snapped the 4-game losing streak with a win over Mississippi Valley State on Sunday. A couple interior looks, nothing doing. And Notre Dame 5-1. Their lone loss, just 3-point defeat at the hands of Radford. Hub from the wing, a 3-pointer is good, right in front of the Illinois bench. And he let him know as he went back down the floor.
Credit Pfluger for the vision. Cross-court pass, swing at defense, not paying attention. An easy catch and shoot.
Same spot was a make for Bishanishvili, feeling the hot hand. Gibbs leads the break for Notre Dame and now slows it down.
Well, when you're 2 of 11, you hit 1-3, the second one becomes a heat check. That's how that works. Prentice Hub, the freshman, has the confidence of an upperclassman. Not a lot of offense. A barn burner by no means. Pfluger, cross court, number 3, hits a 3. The hub for success. Prentice.
Hold up, let me get up in it now. I'm here to
Somehow this one seems different.
I'm feeling free, I'm finna bring it now.
The ACC Big Ten Challenge. Indiana takes on number 3 Duke tonight at 9:30 on ESPN.
The Big Ten off to a banner start this year. 7 teams in the AP Top 25, headlined by Michigan and Michigan State, both in the top 10. Most teams for the league in the AP Top 25 since 1999, in the ACC with 5. You've got Duke and Virginia 3 and 4, Carolina at 11, Virginia Tech at 13, and Florida State at 15. All of those teams or leagues right now, top 2 winning percentages in college basketball too. The leagues collectively winning about 83% of their games.
And you can't tell me this Big Ten ACC Challenge doesn't mean a lot to both respective conferences who want to boast that they have the best basketball in the nation. Look, you can look at the tournament ultimately in March, but this is a good precursor for maybe what's to come in terms of the strength of your teams top to bottom.
Well, it's certainly a good test for Notre Dame as they've got the 4-point lead here, just about 3 minutes to go before halftime. Because you look at the teams that they've played, Chicago State, a team that's close by, willing to make the drive over. They rank 349th in the country, according to the KenPom rankings. William and Mary, Duquesne, and then DePaul and Radford. So you get a major conference opponent here, and now it's a stretch of games for Notre Dame where they're taking on major conference teams. Jordan gets the bucket and goes to the line. He's got 10.
Leading scorer in this contest, I believe, at this point, or tied with the leading scorer with TJ Gibbs. And it's no surprise. He's a senior. You're looking at a game with no rhythm. You're seeing turnovers. You're seeing some bad basketball at stretches because both teams are young. And the upperclassmen that are playing are in elevated roles. So the guy who's bringing stability on the floor for both teams, TJ Gibbs, who's logged arguably the most minutes for the Irish, most meaningful, and Aaron Jordan, a 6'5" senior for Illinois on the other end.
So what you're saying is this game is kind of like somebody who's trying out beatboxing for the first time. No rhythm.
You would know about that, Mike.
I very much so.
Absolutely, that's what you're seeing right now, my friend. It's like watching a string of first dates. They're figuring out what kind of rhythm, chemistry is going to happen here. And that's for both teams. 5 guys on Notre Dame are getting used to playing with each other. Again, we're still in November. The 5 guys for Illinois are still trying to figure out, okay, who are we going to be? What type of team can we be? And Coach Underwood wants to play his style of basketball, but he's still trying to figure out what 5 guys can go out there and play like he played at Stephen F. Austin.
Sitting back in the 2-3 zone. Notre Dame brings in number 11, Juwan Durham, the redshirt sophomore, transfer from UConn, who sat out last year, which makes it a 10-deep first half for the Irish. 3-pointer, Dosunmu.
Dosunmu, I get tired of hearing that the young man can't shoot the basketball. He's knocking down a percentage of 50% with the long ball. Oh, he's a shooter, all right. a big get from the city of Chicago to really establish this Illinois program. And when he gets those feet square, again, knocking down half his attempts from beyond the arc, you got to have awareness of, look, the Irish want to play that 2-3 zone. You got to get out on shooters. Illinois wins games by turning over the opposition and winning with the long ball.
And they've done a good job of turning over the Irish. Notre Dame averages about 9 turnovers a game, and they've already got 9 in this one. After the foul on Jordan, free throw no good.
Since Mike Bray came to South Bend, a staple and a foundation of their success has been purely offense, but most importantly, taking care of the basketball. If they can't get it going, knocking down shots, at the very least, they value the ball. Tonight, that's failing them. That's why Illinois is clinging to the smallest of leads, but yet a lead.
From the corner, Felice sends it wide. Durham fights for the loose ball. Jump ball belongs to Notre Dame.
That thing wouldn't have drawn iron on a 13-foot goal.
Durham played his high school basketball in Tampa, and a couple years ago at UConn averaged about 8 minutes a game. So still very much a work in progress here. So he's worked on his strength and worked on learning the system from Mike Bray.
And Coach Bray is trying to figure out how to use this incredibly talented young man. He's a rim protector, a fantastic shot blocker, can be a gifted rebounder. Thin frame, but doesn't have the offense necessarily for what Coach Bray likes to do, play you 5 guys and spread you out. When he uses this lineup, it gives them a different look offensively, but improves them defensively.
Couple high screens for Hub. He dribbles into traffic, takes it out with 10 to shoot. Durham tries to set him up again, takes the roll, out of bounds, stays here with 2 seconds on the shot clock.
Mike, you can't be any easier to guard than that. That was Prentice Hub dribbling, dribbling, dribbling. The defense is getting a breather, standing there saying, we can do this. Now you need a quick hitter with 2 seconds left on the shot clock, coming off a screen. You'd like to see TJ Gibbs, your most gifted shooter, screen the screener, run off a double, try to curl it with momentum. Again, only 2 seconds left on the clock.
Good substitution from Underwood to bring in the 7-footer, Samba Kane, the freshman, to get him on the ball. Feed underneath, a spinning try, no good for Harvey, but fouled under the basket. It's number 2 on Jordan.
So ironic, as we sat here today during the shoot-around, and Coach Antigua, one of the assistants for Illinois, Coach Underwood, they were stressing no silly fouls. It's the epitome of a silly foul right there. 2 seconds left. You don't protect your home, that being the rim, and then you foul a bailout, allowing Harvey to get 2 from the free throw line. Those are the silly fouls that throughout the young season have plagued this Illinois team.
In that spot, the defender's got to know there's only one thing that's going to happen. It's a shot right away. You just stand there with the hands up and you're good.
And you can't get slipped right underneath the goal. At the very least, you got to protect home base.
Made baskets in the first half between the two teams to go along with 19 turnovers. First 20 minutes, a little bit choppy, a little bit sloppy. Follows slam, Bishadishvili. Nobody blocked him out.
Bishadishvili, a next level athlete. Aggressive mentality, chased the second chance opportunity, but it was all because of the driving lane at Dosunmu.
And for a freshman, he's exceptionally vocal. About a 2-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock, but realistically, Illinois can hold for 1 here. And Underwood calls timeout to draw up the final shot of the first half.
Off the drive, defense caught watching. Bishadishvili says, Goodwin, welcome to college basketball. Freshman on freshman. Advantage orange.
Watching the replay there, trying to get a gauge of who was guarding him, and it didn't even look like there was anybody in the vicinity who would have been trying to box him out.
Yeah, everybody was watching the dribble drive from Dosunmu. I think what you'll probably see here is a high ball screen. Bishadishvili.
He gets the back pick on Carmody. Dosumu, 17-footer, sent it wide. Shot clock violation. The last shot was the best one, but it came after the shot clock expired. And the Irish have another look at it with 2.2 seconds.
And the Irish have options here. They might try to hit Gibbs with momentum going, or they might try to curl off. Watch for number 24 for the Irish. Carmody catching a screen, or it looks like it will be Gibbs. He'll probably run off with the screen here at half court. Momentum going. Looks like they might just go with the easy one here. Pass to Carmody, make a play.
It's Goodwin from midcourt. And Illinois has a 1-point lead at the break. Not the prettiest 20 minutes of basketball, but plenty to address for both head coaches. 20 turnovers, 22 made buckets, 35-34. Illinois on the road.
It's V Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
Welcome back to the ACC Big Ten Challenge presented by Continental here in Notre Dame, Indiana. It's the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and the Fighting Illini of Illinois. Record of 2-4. They went 0 for 3 at the Maui Invitational. A young squad with a lot of learning to do. Notre Dame equally young. A record of 5-1. Mike Bray knew his team was going to be young coming into this year. Inexperience, and they've yet to go on the road. First 7 games here at home, the most since 1986, when Digger Phelps opened with 7 straight at home and didn't go on the road until New Year's Eve for the game against Maryland. Gibbs driving, and he's fouled by Dosumu, the first on the freshman for Illinois.
And I think if you ask Coach Underwood about the Irish and their home cooking, having played so many games here out of the gates, he'd say, we may schedule like that come next year. That'd probably be better for us than where we're at right now. But you could also look at it and find glass half full and say they've been battle tested, this Illinois team. Having seen the likes of Gonzaga, Iowa State, Georgetown, Xavier. So this Notre Dame team is much of the same of what they've seen so far.
Hoping that their schedule propels them to a better finish than what they were projected to have. Picked by the media to finish 13th in the league, ahead of only Rutgers, which has been last in the league every year since joining.
Yeah, for Illinois, as you look at it, that Georgetown game may have been a win had Trent Frazier been able to go in that one. The first half of this one, worth noting, Trent Frazier saddled with a little bit of injury, but also some foul trouble. Can he play for these next 20 minutes, give them the offensive boost they so desperately need?
Frazier, number 1 in the orange, leading scorer for the team at 18 points a game. Had to sit for 13 out of 20 minutes in the first half.
So at least the Illini have an excuse offensively for what transpired in that first half.
Mooney helps force the tip, and it ends up with Pfluger.
Pfluger does a good job of moving that basketball cross court. Those cross court passes, beneficial.
Offensive foul against Mooney. Frazier was there, ready to step in front. That's number 3 on the Notre Dame big man, who had to sit in the first half with 2 early fouls.
And those are winning plays from your best player on the floor. Take a look at this. That's a big body coming to Trent Frazier, listed at 6'1", who in reality may be sub 6 feet tall. Offering his body up to the basketball gods, generating a turnover, trying to give his team a lift. Trent Frazier making an immediate impact here in the second half.
It may be sub 6 feet.
He's
are you counting elevation from hair?
I mean, he's listed at 6'1". Do you think he's 6'1"?
No.
I don't think so. Standing next to the young man on the floor, but he's got a big heart. He's incredibly talented.
And now just 5 to shoot for Illinois. The listed 6'1" Frazier leaves it short. And so it's a shot clock violation. 35 all back to Notre Dame. Mike Bray left TJ Gibbs out on the floor for all 20 minutes of the first half. This is the 7th game of the year for Notre Dame. They're 5-1. And I can bet you there will be more than a handful of games this year where Gibbs plays an entire half.
Oh, no question.
Pfluger had the open look from 3. He passed it up and had it swiped away by Felice. Gibbs from the wing, fades from 15. Sends it back rim. Mooney charges through and gets it to go.
It's a big-time play. Mooney getting physical. You love the extra effort getting on the floor. Pfluger probably had that first look, lost it, regained it by diving on the floor. Effort play propels the Irish to 2.
Shanishvili goes right over Mooney. That is where Illinois perhaps has the biggest advantage in this game.
No question. Shanishvili is physical. He's athletic, has that lift to rise, elevate, and finish. Young man had 17 and 6 versus Gonzaga. If he can do it against that front line, he should pursue some success against the Irish here.
Harvey floats it, makes it 39-37. Harvey coming off the knee injury last year, hurt his left knee against Louisville. Response is a corner 3 from Jordan, his 3rd 3 of the night.
And that's about what he's been averaging this season for the Fighting Illini. Got to have an awareness of him at all times. It's a bad shot.
There's the foul. You mentioned DJ Harvey, the sophomore from Bowie, Maryland, scoring, going to his left, finishing with the right. It was a trying season for him last year in a team that battled injury, especially with Bonzi Colson. He got hurt on January 16th, had surgery on the knee in February, and only on October 13th was he cleared for practice, and then just a few weeks later started the season opener. You thought last year when you had injuries to some of the top scorers on Notre Dame's team last year, a lot of the attention turned to Harvey, and then bad got worse once he got hurt and was done for the year.
Yeah, and he's another one of those guys that has that weight of the world on him. He wants to get healthy. Look, if your timeline includes begun jogging, that shows you just how difficult a path it's been. 6'6", such a fluid athlete. You want to see him get back to right because he is a fun guy to watch play.
It's another 3. Andres Felice, first team JUCO All-American last year at Northwest Florida State. And Mooney sits now for Notre Dame. He's got 4 fouls. Been problematic as he's racked them up once every 2.5 minutes. Just 10 minutes on the floor for the number 2 scorer for Mike Bray's squad. Goodwin got stuck inside. He heaves and splashes it through. Timeout Notre Dame. So Mooney's sideline. We'll see how the youth of the Irish squad responds on its home floor. Oh my God! The tap! Oh! Incredible finish. So who is this? The all-time leading shot blocker in the history of Notre Dame. My partner, Jordan Cornette.
Laying it up.
Getting out on the perimeter, getting dirty, getting after the ball.
I missed it. Many pounds ago right there.
What kind of memories does that bring back for you?
Going against Boston College, they had some teams. It makes me think of that, at that time, the old Big East. You know, Troy Bell was who you saw right there, immense talent. They had some guys. Craig Smith, another one of those talented bigs, incredibly physical. I played on some very special teams. That's great leaders, old teams. We talk about Notre Dame and what Coach Bray's been accustomed to. Leadership, the productivity came from juniors and seniors. Right there, you saw me as a sophomore. I was allowed to ease my way in. You gotta give me a heads up when you're gonna pull tape like that.
Could we say there's a 3 from Harvey, make it a 1-point game? Were you going with like the chin strap facial hair look back then? Was that what it was?
I had a bad barber back then. Luckily, he wasn't getting paid.
Okay. Just
This
show
was
it
my
off on
point guard.
somebody else.
This was my point guard, Chris Thomas.
As if you weren't in control of what was going on. Come on.
You get what you paid for, Mike.
How has Mike Bray changed as a coach in the last, say, 10 years?
Well, they call him one of the loosest coaches or the loosest coach in America. And that's kind of his personality. He goes with the flow. But he's had to be more hands-on with these guys, as you can see.
1-point lead for Illinois. Some Mike Gray is going to have to coach him up all the way through. Bishanishvili now has 13, tied for the team lead for Illinois. Harvey answers with a triple. We got a 1-point game. Our 30 for 30 documentary, The Last Days of Night, which premiered in April on ESPN Plus, now makes its television debut Thursday, ESPN 7:30 Eastern. It goes behind the scenes, telling the story of CNN's investigation into why high school All-Americans were leaving Bob Knight's basketball program at Indiana, and the fallout after that story came out in 2000. So that'll be on Thursday night. And you now look at Indiana, Duke getting ready to go 9:30 Eastern tonight on ESPN. Going back to the 2011-2012 season, two of the best winning percentages against top 3 teams. Certainly a lot of the credit there now with Archie Miller at the helm for Indiana was his predecessor Tom Crean, now in his first year at Georgia after spending a year in studio with us at ESPN.
Too much success for Illinois going down low to the big fella. Bishanishvili needs to demand that basketball. Be gluttonous. Demand to be fed. You now have a freshman on you. Yes, you're a freshman, but you're built like an upperclassman. You have the upper hand.
Count the bucket and the foul. Hub dribbling his way to the rim. Been successful going inside for both teams. The Illini making their last 5 shots, but that's foul number 2 on Bishanishvili, the freshman from the country of Georgia.
You know, Hub at 6'3", he looks small because he doesn't have a lot of muscle on him. Again, young. He's a freshman. He'll get bigger, but he's got length. So at 6'3", it allows him to finish amongst the trees down there. He's good with his body to kind of give him that hip, create just enough space to finish unchallenged.
He comes in ranked number 98 in the ESPN 100. Who do you think through 6+ games has been the most important new piece to Notre Dame?
And he's the most ready, and a lot of it just has to do simply with his confidence. Coach Bray was beaming about how he's kind of got, Coach Bray put it, something to him. Meaning he's a guy that feels like he should be out there, he's confident with the ball, and he's earned Coach Bray's trust. Demanding that high ball screen. He wants to get it and go at the rim.
Durham looking for it.
It's an empty
So
possession.
is Gibbs.
It's an empty possession. Standing, dribbling, shoot it. Easy to defend, no advantage. Irish for so long have had success with perpetual movement, cuts, exchanges, ball screens. Tire out that defense, make them guard you. Notre Dame's doing nothing to make Illinois guard them right now.
Bishanishvili with the left hand around and out. It was a perfect 3 for 3 to start the half, missing his first in the first 7 minutes of the second stanza. Hub tried to act his way into a foul, out of bounds off of Illinois.
I like that substitution, bringing Durham in. Look, you could go back and say Bishanishvili simply missed that hook, but it was bothered by the length of Durham. So Durham comes in there, has an impact, and on the other side, fighting for 50-50 basketball, giving his team another opportunity.
Bishanishvili gets a breather. He takes his seat as De La Rosa, the 7-footer, comes onto the floor, and Frazier sits as well, with Felice, number 10, back into the game.
Coach Bray's doing all he can offensively from the sidelines to get his guys going. When Hub gets that ball at the top of the key, he's getting double ball screens to try and open up a gap to pursue.
Not a lot of transition buckets tonight. Illinois had the chance, and they slow things down around the outside with Jordan.
Good defense of Pfluger.
Ten to shoot. Jordan against the freshman Hub sends it back for Dosumu, the first-year player. Off the high screen, 2 defenders with him. Kick to the corner. 3 draws back iron. The tip, no. De La Rosa fights for it and has it swiped by Hub. A feed ahead, Pfluger. One dribble for Durham, who gets up and puts it home. Gets the bench to its feet and gives the Irish the 2-point lead.
Pfluger sneaks behind the last line of defense on the leak out. Impressive vision from Hub to get it up ahead. Defense lagging to get back, and your big fellow with the rim run fills the lane, and that's an easy finish. Unselfish play from Pfluger. Suck in the defense. Big fellow runs the floor. He's rewarded.
One of the fun parts about watching Durham is he gets adjusted to life at Notre Dame after sitting out last year. So when he gets up, he doesn't carry a lot of bulk on his frame. He has a pretty springy jump.
He's a malleable talent, meaning he's got a high ceiling. 3 years in an Irish uniform, he's gonna look like a different man guys last year.
Look at the wingspan as he gets the rejection under the bucket.
He's calling, he wants to set that ball screen, give Gibbs a little something, then he dives.
Gibbs delivers a bump and delivers 2 points for Notre Dame. It's a matter of being patient for the Irish. Gibbs can dribble the shot clock down to 0 and take a bad shot, but when he's on, he can be the best player on the floor on a given night. We welcome you back to the ACC on ESPN. Notre Dame with a 4-point lead over Illinois, which is trying to win a non-conference road game for the first time since 2014. It's been a while for Illinois. March 19th, 2014 in the NIT against Boston University. They've lost 6 straight non-conference road games and now find themselves down by 5 after Gibbs was at the free throw line, putting Notre Dame on an 8-0 run. Jordan, as we've seen both teams attack the basket, the pace, the excitement level of this game has risen considerably.
Yeah, you're starting to see guys want to commit defensively a little bit more oomph in their step because they're seeing the ball go through the basket.
Durham got caught out of position. Goodwin swatted the miss.
Durham altered the first shot, didn't block it. Blocked that one. His presence in the interior has been problematic for the Illini. Now you're seeing offensively Coach Bray utilizing a heavy dose of ball screens to open up his guards to play downhill and attack the rim aggressively. Watch Hub here. We get the high ball screen. He's going to try and pursue a gap here. Try and open up.
He lobs, and Durham gets to the rim and draws the foul.
And Mike, here's what I'm talking about. You saw the sequence exactly how I laid it out right there. That high ball screen played downhill. There's a double ball screen. Coach Bray's trying to open up his guards to generate some offense from the sidelines. Masterful. There's this double again. The lucky lefty Hub gets the defense on his hip, gets to the rim and finishes. Starting to generate some confidence offensively via the high ball screen.
What does Illinois need to do to better defend those screens?
They got to hedge harder. And when I say hedge harder, they got to show harder. They've got to try to edge off that driving guard. So if they come off that guy who's defending the screener, step out high, derail that driving guard, take away the momentum, push them into a retreat dribble.
So it's the big man's got to get out, face the sideline, and stop the ball from moving across the court, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Man, Durham is having a game down low. Another altered shot. He may have even blocked that one.
And it's been lots of contact at this end of the floor. The Illini unable to avoid the fouls. That's number 3 on Frazier.
The 6'11" big man, he did get his hand on it. He has been a force to be reckoned with down low. The Illini try to attack the rim much like the Irish. However, the Illini do not have that rim protector that the Irish have in Juwan Durham.
He's been an important piece and an important addition for this team. Now, especially as they try and get John Mooney to play a little bit more inside. Haven't seen a ton of Mooney today, the junior out of Orlando who originally signed to play at Florida under Billy Donovan. But if Durham can develop into a post presence, that can go a long way with a young team because they need somebody to step up on the floor and say, hey, sometimes I got this, you guys don't have to worry.
Yeah, and that's what they're getting, but they're getting it defensively from Durham. What you get with Mooney is you get a guy, a 3-and-D guy, can step out, he's a matchup nightmare, he can knock down a 3-point shot. Durham doesn't have that offensively, but what he does have is a guy who says, hey guys, cheat offensively in the perimeter, try and generate some steals. I'll erase all mistakes down low. I'm protecting the rim. I've got you. He has been the difference. His teammates see him blocking shots, altering ones, and that's propelling the offense on the other end of things.
So the offense has surged over the last nearly 4 minutes. It's been a 9-0 Notre Dame run to jump out in front. We mentioned the fouls. They've drawn 5 fouls in that stretch as well. The Irish looking to go to 6-1. Illinois trying to pull within a game of 500 and get to 3-4 in the early season. Back outside for Frazier, the leading scorer on the year coming into this game, averaging 18 a night. Right now, just 2 points for number 1 in Orange.
Gotta look at Bashashvili down low.
Jordan, desperation 3. It's strange to see that type of a possession where they had success going inside. All of a sudden, Durham says, all right, guys, I came to play, and the ball doesn't touch the paint. It's 2 more for Gibbs.
Where the Illini have started to rely, like they have all season, on that 3-point shot. Notre Dame's doing their damage inside the arc, playing downhill, attacking the rim.
They've scored 11 unanswered, while the Illini are on almost a 5-minute scoreless stretch. Double team immediately comes to Bashashvili, and the foul goes on Durham, who brought the hands down his first.
And Durham was in perfect position. 6'11", he has linked on his side. Let that post pass go down low to Bashashvili and just play upright basketball. At your size with that length, it's troublesome. It's not an easy delivery. Don't try and get cute trying to get the steal on the post entry. Great effort from that young man. Really gave his team a boost right there. You talk about plus minus. Pretty impressive plus minus from Juwan Durham.
Mooney comes in, immediately picks up the foul, and that's his 5th, so his night's done.
Durham walking back to that bench. Mooney said, go ahead. I'm going to take this night off. Tough one for him. The officials just weren't feeling his style of play this evening. And misses, you got to be selfish sometimes. You got to be opportunistic. Durham hasn't had many opportunities because Mooney's been shining. You want to see your teammate win, but now is Durham's time to really stay claim and show himself that he belongs on the floor.
Certainly gets his chance with the inefficient time on the floor for Mooney tonight. 5 fouls in 11 minutes.
Has your phone rang at all during this broadcast? They said Trent Frazier on line 1. I don't know where he's been. You got to get him going here a little bit. Yes, he's had the injury. Yes, he's been in foul trouble in the first half. But he's your 18-point-per-night guy. A stagnant offense, you got to establish number 1.
My phone did ring, but it was another robocall to let me know I've been approved for a credit card.
Hey,
so
congratulations.
Just got to ignore it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just the 7th time that's happened today. 3 off the mark. Bashashvili rejected by Durham. It sends Hub on the break. Harvey for Gibbs. The 3 is good. Notre Dame 58, Illinois 47.
Defense king the run. Juwan Durham king the run, allowing for momentum and a shift with the 3-point shot from TJ Gibbs.
Frazier was looking for a response. Out of bounds, stays Illini ball.
Man, rejection in its purest form right here. Bashashvili, denial. That length, that elevation from Durham had been the difference, and now you see that gets this Irish offense going the other way, trailing the play. Nobody aware of the best offensive threat for the Irish on the other end. TJ Gibbs, confidence building.
Across the lane, there goes Frazier. Big Ten all-freshman team last year, averaging 13 points, 3 assists. Tops in the league among freshmen in scoring.
And you wonder how much that ankle's bothering him. Durham again working down low, second chance opportunity.
They got to reward him, get it inside to him. With the lob over the top, he gets up and scores, plus the foul.
Mike, you couldn't have said it any better. The big fella's giving his all defensively. You gotta feed him down low. Make him, keep him interested. Pass over the top, Aaron Jordan, a 3-point shooter, not a shot blocker. Elevate, finish, old-fashioned 3-point play. Will we see more Durham when we return?
Cancer is universal.
Life-changing.
Cancer is why I will never give up.
Cancer is something that's going to make me stronger. It doesn't define me.
I believe that they can come up with a cure. I think we're just this close.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join ESPN and the V Foundation in the fight against cancer. Visit v.org/donate and know that all donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Back here on the campus of Notre Dame, my cousins Jordan Cornette. Thanks so much for joining us tonight for the second night of 3 of the ACC Big Ten Challenge. Started the night with a 1-1 split. Nebraska and Boston College were winners yesterday, and lots more action to come your way later tonight, including a marquee matchup, Duke and Indiana at 9:30 on ESPN.
Got to give a lot of respect to what the Irish have done defensively. Juwan Durham has been the headliner with some show-stopping blocks that have keyed momentum offensively going the other way. But the Irish collectively have committed to defending outside the arc. I said if Illinois gets the double-figure threes, you might look and say this is going to go Illinois' way. Stuck at 7 threes because of the job they've done here in the second half.
Count the bucket for Bishanishvili, who makes just the second basket in the last 15 attempts for Illinois. It's part of why they've gone cold and fallen behind by 10. Sports Center tonight after the aforementioned Indiana Duke on ESPN with SVP. Reese Davis will join the show to break down the college football playoff rankings. It's a good night for Notre Dame on multiple fronts. Plus Jay Billis gives us a look at Duke's season so far and a look back at the ultimate bad beat. Sports Center with SVP on ESPN and the ESPN app.
For coaches that are coaching a basketball team and trying to build a program at a quote-unquote football school, take note of what Coach Bray's done at Notre Dame and embraced the affinity for football here and has used it to benefit his program. He's accepted it, he's welcomed it, and it's allowed him to turn this place into a basketball powerhouse of sorts as well.
13 times as a head coach he's gone to the NCAA tournament, done it 11 times in his 18, now 19th season here at Notre Dame with Rod Balanis, the former Georgia Tech guard, to his right, or to his left, your right, has been with him every step of the way.
And you look at some of the teams that Coach Bray's been tasked with, you know, getting to the tournament and not much expected of them. That's when he's done some of his finest work. So albeit this is a unique situation with so much youth and guys stepping into roles that that typically do not in a Notre Dame Coach Bray-led program, when you count him out, he delivers.
Well, can I ask you to go back to your sophomore year? Because we talked about the youth of this freshman class, and both teams very young. 8 new players for Illinois as they've got off to a 2-4 start. The Irish a much easier schedule at 5-1. But it's only the 4th time where Mike Bray has brought in as many new players. There's Hub ahead of the field. Gives it back for Durham, who's rejected. Harvey brings it back out. But it was your sophomore year where there was a big influx of new players. What was that like then?
2 returning starters, Matty Carroll, Chris Thomas, they led the way. We had an impact transfer. You're seeing what Juwan Durham's doing tonight as DJ Harvey knocks down the rhythm 3. We had an impact freshman of our own, Juwan Durham, doing it tonight, the transfer from UConn. Danny Miller was a transfer that came over, helped us out immensely. Those kind of things you need. You need other guys to step up in elevated roles and deliver, and an impact freshman. There's a lot of freshmen on this team. Turin Francis, Chris Quinn, 2 of those guys that helped propel our team to get all the way to the Sweet 16 that year. So when counted out, when Coach Bray's delivered the most, and that team I'm talking about is one you see on the screen right there, 0-2-0-3. The 2 returning starters, Matty Carroll, Chris Thomas. The final record, 24-10. The NCAA tournament. At that moment, that was the furthest Mike Bray had gone for a long time here until he pushed through the threshold and got to the Elite 8. That was the Sweet 16 team in 2002.
This year's squad picked 9th out of 14 teams in the ACC, or 15 teams, I should say, in the ACC preseason poll after losing Fonzie Colson, Matt Farrell, Marty Gebbin. Those 3 combined averaged 47 points, 20 rebounds a year ago.
I mean, you're talking about losing your point guard, your floor general. You're talking about losing an All-American talent in Fonzie Colson. You're talking about Gebbin, a guy down low who's a double-figure producer. That's a lot to respond back from, and yet still, you got a Notre Dame team who's responded from that ugly Radford loss and is here going against a Big Ten opponent with a double-figure lead, having played so many freshmen in new roles.
Big difference tonight for Illinois has been that their top two scorers, Frazier and Dosumu, have not been their regular selves, carrying the call.
Wow, interesting call there. Coach Bray doesn't like it. Unforced error. Oh yeah, it's a good call.
Took about 3 steps. That ball looked like it was Velcroed to his hand there.
You know, it's like the player in me. Instinctively, I want to disagree with the official, but now we have replay, and you see these guys know what they're doing out here.
Don't act like there were only courtroom sketch artists when you played. It wasn't that long ago. Come on. That's of 05. Mr. Cornett. Nishanishvili's got it inside, and he's got 20. He's had a nice day from the field. He's 8 for 14 and has 11 points in this half, while the rest of his team only has 8. Blocking foul is the call. Don't forget, later tonight, 9:30 Eastern. The clock is ticking before we get to tip off with Duke squaring off against Indiana. You'll see Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish. You know about the Duke players. Perhaps you haven't seen Romeo Langford play at a New Albany High School in Indiana. Number 5 player in the ESPN 100 this year, as Duke tries to avoid losing back-to-back non-conference games. The first time since 1999 when they dropped them against Stanford and Connecticut.
And that's when you get a feel for what is the makeup of a guy like Romeo Langford. We know about the talent, but he's going into a pretty ruckus environment. Can he remain even-keeled, not try to change the world with every play, and be the difference that Indiana's going to need on the road?
He thought for a long time about whether he was going to stay in state and go to Indiana. And when we talked with Brad Underwood earlier today, you mentioned it as well, the recruitment of Ayo Dosumu, the freshman from Chicago out of Morgan Park High School, where he won a state championship. It's getting those players like that within the boundaries of your home state that can help you build a program, as it's year number 2 for Coach Underwood.
Ayo Dosumu is absolutely that guy. He's coveted. And when you talk to Coach Underwood about what he brings, he says, forget about the accolades and the talent. He's a young man that works hard, that's coachable, that is respected by his teammates. It's a leader from day one. That's what you build a program around. Forget that he's from the city of Chicago. He's what we want all our guys to be. He said, look at Trent Frazier, our most talented player. He is that. Look at our senior, Aaron Jordan. So they've got a nucleus of impressive talent and good kids.
Pfluger frustrated with the off-target pass for Durham. A fastball when you need a rainbow pass to the rim. 4.5 minutes to go, and the lead is 10 for Notre Dame. Drive and kick, offensive foul. Gibbs steps in front.
Nishanishvili has had so much success this evening on the low block. Juwan Durham's tired. He's exhausted. You like the aggressive drive from Aaron Jordan. I don't know if I saw a charge there. I thought I might have seen a block. Don't love the call. But I also don't love Illinois not getting it down low to their big fella with what he's been able to do this evening, especially now with Durham, the rim protector, out. Got to go back, dance with the girl who brought you. That's where your success has been had. That's how you climb back into it. Get it back down low.
Gibbs got trapped, tried to force it across the lane to Leszewski. Breakaway Illinois, and it'll be 2 shots coming for DeMonte Williams.
Couple costly turnovers from the Irish who've done for a long stint here in this second stanza. Been so good with the ball. Couple reckless turnovers. Illinois has been able to go back the other way. And they're slowly starting to cut into this thing and get it back to single digits here. Maybe step up, dial up that defensive intensity, pursue some traps, speed up this game. Who knows in the last 4 minutes?
They once led this game by 7 points, but you have to go back to almost the midway point of the first half to find the largest lead of the night for Illinois.
If Notre Dame is able to hold on to this one, and again, there's a lot of game left, but you look at Trent Frazier and his inability to find the rhythm. Could it be his ankle bothering him? Could it be the foul trouble in the first half? When getting that third here in the second, it took him out of a rhythm. But regardless of what it is, 18 points per game to not have that option throughout most of this one makes it a very, very much an uphill climb.
He and DeSumo have combined to shoot 4 for 15 and total just 10 points. When on a given night, they average 33 together. Harvey's got it.
That's such a good-looking stroke, Harvey. Every time on that release, you just think it's going in.
Frazier against Gibbs. Foul under the bucket. That goes on Leszewski. Illinois on the comeback trail. 3:28 to play as they're down by 8.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Continental Tire. For what you do.
Looks like they're going to have a tremendous season.
Hold up, let me get up in it now. I'm here to
somehow this one seems different.
I'm feeling free, I'm finna bring it now.
The ACC Big Ten Challenge. Indiana takes on number 3 Duke tonight at 9:30 on ESPN.
Duke, number 3 in the rankings, plays host to Indiana, coming your way 9:30 Eastern. We're just about 30 minutes away from tip-off at Cameron Indoor. Zion Williamson, built like a tight end and plays with the grace of a guard. How about this? RJ Barrett, his teammate, has missed 74 shots so far. Williamson has only taken 75. So should it be that Barrett takes fewer shots and that go to other teammates, or should Williamson get more shots overall?
Well, I think you could argue that Williamson should maybe be more demonstrative in demanding that basketball. But again, I think it goes to RJ Barrett. When you're that caliber star and you're surrounded by other stars, that's uncharted territory for a guy like RJ Barrett. He's used to playing high school ball where he has to dominate that thing and be the guy. He needs to learn to play along with other high-level guys, and Duke will only improve.
Pfluger going for a one-handed lob for Durham. He's frustrated because that's the last 2 times where Pfluger sent it to the rim for his big man, and the pass has been off the mark.
Notre Dame's allowing the Illini to creep back in. Notre Dame again took care of the basketball for so much in the second half, and now you put together a string of turnovers, and Illinois is capitalizing on the other end.
The Illini forcing a turnover 3 of the last 4 times down the floor for Notre Dame. And all of a sudden a 6-point game once again with 3 minutes to go.
Rex Pfluger has been a part of 2 of those turnovers with failed alley-oop attempts to Durham.
They got to get a shot off here. Bishanishvili, a 3 nearly went down. Offensive board for Williams. Another look. Doesn't go for Frazier. Plenty of opportunity there for Illinois, but nothing dropping through the cylinder.
And that's just indicative of the kind of night it's been for Trent Frazier. A star, an absolute star. He's all freshman team a year ago. He is their guy as a sophomore. Coming into tonight, 45% from the three-point line. That is a pristine look when it matters. A high percentage shot coming off an offensive rebound. No defense around and can't connect. Missed badly. Just not his evening.
Pfluger has 2 free throws. Here's a guy, senior from California, coming to Middle America to play his college basketball. In his time on campus, how has he become a better player?
You know, he's been asked to do a lot more. Last year, most especially this year. He came in as a defender. They've asked him to score the basketball, and he's learning how to be a go-to scorer for this team. It's TJ Gibbs first, but he has to be a viable second and third option. At the ball game, he had 20 points, his career high. If he can be a double-figure scorer consistently, this Irish team can be a tournament team. It's a lot to put on a defender's shoulders, but he has the capabilities.
Even something he wasn't necessarily asked to do in his high school career is at Mater Dei. He was a high school teammate of Stanley Johnson. Jordan for 3. A much-needed 3-point field goal for Illinois. The lead is now down to 4 for Notre Dame.
The Illini starting to dial up that defensive pressure, extend the court here.
Bishanishvili creating trouble for Pfluger, and the senior huddles up and calls a timeout with 2:20 to go.
Love the action here offensively from the Illini. Aaron Jordan, their best three-point shooter, runs off 2 screens. DJ Harvey can't keep up, in rhythm, catch and shoot. Jordan, 7 points in the last 3 minutes for this team. And you know what year he is? A senior, making big-time plays down the stretch.
Another hot start for him from three-point range. Came in at 46%. Last year in pre-Christmas games, he shot 60% from deep. Type of guy where you've got to know where he is on the floor at all times.
And yeah, you're going to see the Illini again trying to extend out that pressure. It's in the half court now, but if they can convert another basket, they're going to stretch that thing out, that full court pressure. 2 guards up front, 2 guards mid-court, 1 guy protecting the goal. They're going to look for traps. The Irish have not been good with basketball. You talk about a senior for the Illini and Aaron Jordan making plays. A senior for the Irish, Rex Pfluger, a couple costly turnovers.
A few players who have to be careful for Illinois. Nichols, Williams, Jordan, each with 4 fouls. Notre Dame's John Mooney has already fouled out. Only played 11 minutes tonight.
Good slip. Somebody's got to be open.
Just 5 on the shot clock. Gibbs tied up. And the arrow keeps it here. That's been great half-court trapping from Illinois.
Yeah, and I call for a high ball screen, that double ball screen, to allow these guards to open up and make plays. But you got 4 seconds left on the shot clock now. You got to run one of your guards off a curl with something going at the rim. If it's a leak out into the backcourt and then coming up, you're taking a low percentage 3, and that's not what you want here. They're going to bring in Leshevsky, the catch and shoot big man. Trading offense for defense. Durham out, Leshevsky in.
It'll be a tough shot if he touches it in the corner. Guarded by the 6'9" Bishanishvili. Gibbs looks at the shot clock, lets it go. Shot clock violation. Between 3 whistles, Illinois defended exceptionally there, and they get the ball back down by 4.
And if you're the Illini, I'd play 2-man basketball on one side of the floor, whether you're using your guard, your star guard, Trent Frazier, or you're using Aaron Jordan as that 3-point shooter. And you got the big guy on the low block, and Bishanishvili.
Jordan off the wing, checked by Pfluger. Takes the screen, Pfluger stays with him. Kick ball as he looked inside for Bishanishvili. This is the type of game they hope to get from Bishanishvili. The freshman from the country of Georgia scored 17 against Gonzaga, and then the last 3 only had 8 points, and tonight a career best 22.
It's very cool at the basketball. In a lot of ways, he's the quarterback of this offense.
A shot put from the middle of the lane. Williams draws the foul, stops the clock, 1:34 to go, which is where the Illini want it, trying to climb back into it.
You're so used to saying Trent Frazier and somebody, right? Well, it's been Aaron Jordan, it's been big fella Georgie Bishanishvili, who have combined to be the difference. Just imagine if you got something from Trent Frazier as well tonight. This may be one that goes the other way, but Illinois very much within striking distance here now. Yeah, you know, defensively, the Irish, it's almost like Juwan Durham got tired down the stretch here. Wasn't that same impactful last line of defense. And Illinois started getting stuff going at the rim, which then opened up a 3-point shot.
Certainly understandable that he may have gotten tired. Usually only plays about 10 minutes a game. And now Illinois has responded, a 15-4 run. Just 5 minutes of game time ago, Notre Dame led by 13. Illinois has trimmed it to 2.
If you're going to be an aggressive defense, you got to be aggressive offensively.
Harvey got caught as he made it inside the free throw line. 2 free throws coming for the sophomore from Maryland. First one goes, subs at the whistle. Williams in for Illinois, and Durham, the big man, back on the floor. replacing Goodwin for Notre Dame.
Make or miss. If you're Illinois, you got to get that thing out and go. Could be a 2-possession game here. With just over a minute left to play. You got to start operating quickly.
Still want to feed Bishanishvili?
Absolutely. Durham's tired. Challenge the big fella down low. Make the move on a high ball screen.
Frazier takes the screen. Swatted by Durham. Pressure still on from the Illini. Gibbs feels the heat. Durham ahead of the pack. Jams with 2. It's been Durham's night tonight in the second half.
Defensive clinic from the big fella. Taking what that offense is giving him defensively. Guards are leading him right to the rim, and Durham is taking the garbage out. Is it a trash day?
It's just become one. On the fadeaway, back iron, Bishanishvili had it go right through his grasp. 35 seconds to go. The Illini trying to trap. Gibbs lost his dribble. Stuck near midcourt.
That's got to be, there's some contact there.
Mike Bray takes his final timeout. Gibbs drops down, holding his face.
Gibbs caught one in the eye. Durham has been the difference. He was a difference in the second half to get this offense going. And some big-time plays as Illinois challenged him at the rim. Then he got the leak out. Two-hand punctuation on the other end. And he wasn't done. The dribble drive here, DeSumo. And that is, again, a big-time play. 10 blocks for the Irish. How many of those belong to Juwan Durham? A lot.
5 on the stat sheet. But altered shots, he's probably up to 10 himself.
And you're talking about point-blank range finishes. So 5 blocks on layups, that's 10 points. Then you throw in altered shots, forget about his point total. It's what he's erased defensively that you'll look back and say, that was the difference this evening.
So Gibbs goes to the end of the bench after it looked like, as you said, got hit in the eye after taking the trap near midcourt that forced Notre Dame to use its final timeout.
You're going to want your best handler on the floor if you can get him there. This makes it a little bit more challenging for the Irish. Prentice Huff, fully capable, but a freshman. Can he deal with that pressure?
It's rare to see Gibbs off the floor. He's played 39.5 minutes tonight. We've only got 30 seconds to go. Every available second, he's been on the floor. And now in crunch time, with the Irish leading by 6, he sits.
Only injury was going to get this guy off the floor. A true competitor. Motivated young man, comes from a basketball family. It's in his DNA. Got to be good with the ball here if you're the Irish. Pursue a trap, but you can't waste time. Then you got to look for foul.
Safe play was the lob to the big man. Fourth foul on Bishanishvili.
Five to 6 on the year. Good looking stroke from the big fella. He's giving us a taste of everything this evening.
One for 2, so he's got in just 16 minutes, 10 points, 5 blocks. Sumu, basket, timeout, Illinois. They're coming off a 15-17 campaign, 4-14 in Big Ten play. And trying to get back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2013. We mentioned picked second to last, ahead of only Rutgers And this year off to a 2-4 start. They broke a 4-game losing streak on Sunday with a win over Mississippi Valley State after a tough go of it through the Maui Invitational against Gonzaga, Iowa State, and Xavier.
It's just been a brutal test for Coach Underwood's guys. And you look at what's upcoming, there's no rest for this Illini team. And what's most challenging for this Illinois team is, yes, the opponents they're facing, which are resulting in tough-fought losses. But when you're young like that, you can't get better at practice on your home floor because you're traveling on the road and it's game, travel, game. So Coach Underwood can't get into the lab, so to speak, and improve his young guys and teach. And that's probably what's been the toughest thing so far.
You know what jumped out too is just the fact that he said a lot of the guys, I've got to teach them the principles of help defense, things that are pretty fundamental in basketball, and he's trying to drill that into them as the year goes along with a roster of 8 new players, including 6 freshmen. Notre Dame and Illinois now, and just moments away, 9:30 Eastern over on ESPN. It'll be number 3 Duke hosting Indiana. You'll have a handful of likely first-round NBA draft picks in that game, one you don't want to miss tonight. The freshman Dane Goodwin gets the foul with 23 seconds to go.
Not gonna lie to you, I'm really curious to see what Romeo Langford, the slashing combo guard, can do against those vaunted 3 of Reddish, of Williamson, and of R.J. Barrett.
Penn State in the ACC Big Ten Challenge, a winner tonight at home against Virginia Tech. That's a top 25 team. They're checking in at number 13 in the new poll out this week. So the tally now goes 2-1 in favor of the Big Ten over the ACC, but Notre Dame is 23 seconds away from tipping the scales back to even. Goodwin hits the first. Part of the number 10 freshman class in the country, one of 4 ESPN 100 players. And this year's Ohio Gatorade Player of the Year, Mr. Basketball. Now 20 seconds to go. Pressure is on. Frazier from the corner drives and gets it to go. Brad Underwood calling for the immediate foul with 15.5 seconds left. And if that's on Bishanishvili, that's his 5th. So his day is done. DeMonte Williams just fouled out as well. Trying to sustain this one for as long as possible. Looking to get their first non-conference road win since the NIT in 2014 at Boston University. Now, if there's one thing among many to be learned today for Illinois, it's that they've certainly got a bona fide post threat. That's now 2 games against high-quality competition, 17 against Gonzaga and 22 tonight against Notre Dame for the freshman.
And I've heard him be referred to as sneaky athletic. Nothing sneaky about it. That man's athletic. He's gifted on that low block. He's starting to explore that 3-point shot. If he puts it all together, this guy in this conference will be someone to be reckoned with. Definitely one of the bright spots if this does in fact go down as a losing effort for the Illini. But again, 2 misses, gotta go.
Nearly turned it over 94 feet from the basket. 8 seconds, Jordan hits the 3-pointer. 6 seconds to play, a 1-point game. It's not over yet. In for Pfluger, there's the foul.
Big time shot from Aaron Jordan, the senior. He got his feet ready. He knew he wanted to spot up right there. He even had a contest. That is tough.
Jordan immediately had to come up and foul, though, so he has also fouled out. Joining Bishanishvili and Williams among the ranks of the disqualified in orange and blue tonight.
You know, in hindsight, if you go back defensively there from Pfluger, you almost want to pick up a little bit further, maybe into the backcourt to take away that momentum, zigzag a guy like that, so he doesn't have the momentum stepping into that 3-point shot, which makes it a higher percentage. Regardless, what you're going to have here is, worst case scenario, a 1-possession game. I'm going to check to make sure the clock got going when it should have. A little bit of a delay there.
Let's try and prognosticate here. 0, 1, or 2 made free throws. Like you said, it's a one-shot game. Now, with Jordan having fouled out 23 points, Mishaniashvili having fouled out at 22, the Illini just lost 45 points. Who do you go to for one last look at the bucket?
It hasn't been their night. We talked about tandems being incredibly productive. Jordan, Mishaniashvili. Okay, they're not there. But you know who's been productive all season as a duo? It's been Trent Frazier, your super sophomore. It's been Ayo Dosunmu, your other guard who's coming as a freshman and played like an upperclassman. Two guys that are quick with the basketball. 5.4 seconds seems like little time. It's an eternity to get from one side of the court to the other and convert with something at the rim. Now, obviously, if it's a three-point game, you're going to need a pull-up shot. But again, I'm okay with those guards taking that ball, even if it's zigzag, getting there, pulling up, and shooting a three if it calls for it.
Illinois was ready to break the huddle. Jeff Anderson, one of the officials, says, well, we're not ready for you just yet. As Brian Dorsey and John Gaffney take a look at the replay monitor to make sure that the clock has exactly the right amount of time on it.
What do you see here, Mike? Tell me. It looked like there's a couple seconds.
All right, so ball is through the basket at 6.5.
They're going to say 4.
And they're going to add 0.4 seconds onto the clock, so to go to 5.4 to 5.8.
They're going to add 0.4 on here.
Yep, 5.4 to 5.8. And it's Pfluger to the free throw line where he's 4 for 6 tonight. First time he's missed one this season, came in a perfect 14 for 14.
Pfluger has a chance for redemption here. Missed a costly free throw, had a couple costly turnovers down the stretch. You can make this one infinitely more difficult and put Illinois in the position to solely play for a tie here.
The Irish are 12 for 25 at the free throw line this half. If this game ends with Illinois in front, the Irish will have one glaring stat to look at. Second one is good. So Durham gets ready to come back into the game for Notre Dame, defend the rim.
And if I'm the Illini, Trent Frazier has been your guy. He means so much to this program. You let him make a play here with the basketball. And if it's a driving kick, there's enough time for it. He's got momentum.
Nobody's got a timeout left. Here comes Frazier. A three for the lead. In and out. And the ball comes down to Illinois as time expires. Notre Dame survives.
Wow. Can it get any closer? Michael Cousins. Trent Frazier coughed it up like a sour grape. Ooh, that's a tough one to stomach. You got the look you wanted. He had momentum going at the goal. You gotta like the Stones from the young guy to take the three-point shot. He wanted to go home with the win, get his guys out of here. A depleted team, two of your better players on the bench fouled out. Going for the win, I'm okay with it. What a tough way to go.
Illinois with the loss drops to 2-5. Notre Dame starting out with 7 straight home games goes 6-1 in that stretch. The ACC, the Big Ten, even at 2. Big game tonight. Duke and Indiana, ESPN at 9:30 Eastern. Coming up next here on ESPNU, more of the ACC Big Ten Challenge, Pittsburgh and Iowa from Carver Hawkeye Arena. For my partner Jordan Cornette, Mike Cousins, our entire crew, thanks for watching. So long from South Bend.